Yo, what is good? And in this video, we're going to take a break from some of the gameplay that I've been doing over the past few weeks and months. More Play Now Online videos are coming, I swear. And they're going to be community requested videos for Play Now Online. So stay tuned for that. But in this video, we're going to do a little responsible speculation for NBA 2K25. Now, there are a few things that caught my eye in the announcement for NBA 2K25. One of which was the introduction of one new era for My NBA Eras. And if you're not familiar with what My NBA Eras are, it basically allows you to go back in time in some of the most significant eras of basketball, starting with Magic Johnson and ending with the current era. There are currently 5 eras in NBA 2K24. That's your Magic and Bird era. That's your early 80s to late 80s. The Jordan era, of course, which is the late 80s to the early 2000s. And then you got the Kobe era, the early 2000s up till around 2011. And then you got the LeBron era separating the modern era. What I think will happen is that the 2011 to 2020-23 time period will be broken down into 2. LeBron was absolutely dominant in the early 2010s. 2011 finals loss notwithstanding, LeBron was absolutely dominant in 2012 and 2013, winning back-to-back MVPs and back-to-back championships. Now, in between, the Spurs and the Warriors got their own championship runs before LeBron closed out this period with a championship, perhaps one of the best championships in modern history in 2016, going up against the Warriors once again and going back from a 3-1 deficit. So, the 2011 to 2016 period marks an era of dominance for LeBron. 3 championships in those 5 years. The Spurs and the Warriors got their own championships. With that said, 2017 to arguably 2023 belongs to one man, and that is Steph Curry. Not without help, not without help. Of course, the Warriors benefited from the addition of Kevin Durant, an absolute scoring machine that showed versatility and commitment on defense to take the Warriors to the next level. In my opinion, replace Kevin Durant with Harrison Barnes. That 2017 championship goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers just because of how dominant that team is. Watch the 2017 season. While the Warriors were absolutely dominant with their 67-win season, the Spurs were not far behind. A 61-win San Antonio Spurs with LaMarcus Aldridge, Kawhi Leonard, and Tim Duncan. Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker were a little bit on the older side as well as Tim Duncan, but that team, man, that team was absolutely cooking. And then on the Eastern Conference, you had the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were also one of the most dominant teams. They didn't have an impressive regular season record, but what they did have was the ability to turn it on when it matters the most. And watch those East playoffs, man. LeBron, with LeBron, just showed absolute dominance during that entire playoff run. If KD didn't go to the Warriors, no doubt in my mind that LeBron would have beaten that Warriors team. That San Antonio team, however, if they stayed healthy with Kawhi Leonard, now that's a good matchup. So, while the Warriors were dominant in 2017, they actually were coasting in 2018, but the talent gap between the Warriors and the rest of the league. Now, remember, the Warriors not only adding KD, they had Zaza Pachulia, who was a perfect fit for that system, playing that Kevin Looney role, while at the same time being a smart NBA player who did the dirty work. And in 2017, you know what kind of dirty work he did. They also had Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, JaVale McGee, who was a good spot starter and gave them that vertical spacing that team needed, and David West. Those 2 Warriors teams were absolutely filthy. In my opinion, there was no doubt in my mind that in those 2 seasons, the Warriors would win. Now, the Houston Rockets, which is another great team from this era, was actually one of those teams that were built to specifically beat the Warriors. Now, they were well on their way. A CP3 injury, who knows really? But nonetheless, the Warriors won in dominant fashion against the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2018. Now, while KD was the finals MVP in those 2 years, don't disrespect Steph. Steph had to sacrifice a lot of his game to make sure that KD felt welcome in that Warriors system. Now, I know people will say Steph Curry not winning those 2 finals MVPs meant that how can this be his era? Now 2019, the Warriors just fell apart at the end. Their lack of depth and the injuries contributed to the Toronto Raptors winning the championship that season. We all know about the 2020 season where LeBron had his most recent championship in what, in my opinion, was an absolute dominant run in the bubble. And in 2021, who can forget that epic 7-game series between Giannis and the Bucks against Devin Booker, CP3, and the Phoenix Suns? I still remember that epic block from Giannis Antetokounmpo to DeAndre Ayton and that crazy alley-oop from Drew Holiday to Giannis to close that game out. That was an insane run. But what will cap off the 2017 to 2022 era as the Stephen Curry era is perhaps Steph's best playoff performance. Now, contrary to popular belief, in my opinion, Steph has always been one of the best playoff performers. Steph should have been the Finals MVP in 2015. Now, 2017 was clearly a KD year. 2018 was closer than people would like you to think, and some people would actually say KD was actually trying to give the Finals MVP to Steph. But 2022 was undoubtedly the cap to what was an already dominant career for Stephen Curry. His dominance in that series against Boston in the finals was stuff of legend. He single-handedly carried the Warriors to victory in Game 4 and had a dominant finals run, leaving no doubt in my mind that Steph Curry will have his own era in NBA 2K25, and with 3 championships in a 5-year span between 2017 to 2022, who could argue that? So there you have it. I think the 6th era in NBA 2K25 will belong to Steph Curry. What does this mean for the game? Well, it means that we will get more classic teams from 2017 onwards. Those were some fun teams, man. So once again, the 2017 Warriors, they're already in the game. I hope Houston gets their 2018 version. And I hope, for example, Toronto gets their 2019 version, which is already part of the classic team roster as well. But don't forget about the 2017 Spurs. That was another fun and dominant team from that era. In my opinion, Stephen Curry, well-deserved, will get his own era. The 2010s to the early 2020s really belong to 2 people. That was LeBron James and that was Steph Curry. And with those 2 guys, along with Kevin Durant, having the swan song of their career in the current 2024 Paris Olympics, which I'll discuss in a future video, it's only fitting that Steph Curry gets the 6th era out of all of these incredible superstars over the past 5 decades. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Do you think Steph Curry will get his own era in NBA 2K25? Do you actually play the eras mode? And if not, what do you think could improve, the eras integration? In my opinion, they could actually improve Play Now Online by putting a lot of the eras teams into Play Now Online. But that's a different conversation for a different time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.